Hi everyone, and welcome to this podcast recorded and produced by the Royal College of Occupational Therapists. This is one of a series of podcasts which really focus on hearing and sharing the career narratives of our diverse workforce and highlight a whole range of possibilities in occupational therapy. My name's Hannah Spencer, and I'm an occupational therapist that's had the absolute pleasure and privilege of facilitating and capturing these conversations with members of our occupational therapy community. So let's start with some introductions. Do you mind introducing yourself and your current role or roles?
Hi, I'm Georgia. I'm a graduate teaching assistant at the University of Sheffield.
Hi, I'm Jacqui and I'm a graduate teaching assistant at the University of Huddersfield.
Well, thank you for both talking with me today. So the purpose of today's conversation is around career journeys, thinking about your occupational therapy career and your experiences in getting to this point. I found it quite helpful to use the analogy of career journey as river course, and in a sense to use the Cower model to guide my thinking. So that will come through in a few of the questions, I'm sure. So let's start right at the beginning. What drew you to occupational therapy? Can you pinpoint the source? How did it all start?
So for me, I've had occupational therapy input all the way through my life, from birth to my disability, and I didn't know that I wanted to go into a healthcare profession. I was kind of, I'd been at nurturing and very much a people person, but I really liked maths and problem solving. I wanted to, I don't want to get that for fun. I really wanted something to like bring that problem solving element into it. Obviously, I knew that we're not pitching people and we're not always problem solving, but I really like that that creative element of occupational therapy. And then my last input from a team was when I was driving. And I was that I had no idea the day. They went to that. Oh, what do you want to do? That, oh, thinking about doing occupational therapy. And then she went, oh, I was occupational therapy. And for me, that was it. I was like, yep, that's the one.
For me, it was because I've got a disability. I was always interested in sort of a caring profession, but because of that disability, I always felt it wasn't an option for me.
Okay.
I just thought, no, I wouldn't be accepted into that. I couldn't do that. But it was my sister who had who'd been born with a medical condition, and it was life limiting, and it was the care and the support that she received that really brought OT to my attention. She had a pulmonary hypertension, and she was such a social person. Because as she'd become more and more unwell, she'd really retreated into herself, and it really helped bring her back. And then I had an opportunity. I was made redundant from a job that I'd been in quite a long time. I was right, okay. My son had gone off to university, and it was, I want something for me. What can I do? And I started looking at it. So it was like this whole journey, and I really reflected on what I wanted to do. And a friend whose sister was an OT started talking to me, and it just started from there.
How many stories of occupational therapy start with those little conversations?
Yeah.
What skills, experiences and opportunities have contributed along the way then?
So for me, being a variety of like reflecting on my own experiences, I feel like I've used my experiences more than what I thought I would have to get here. I feel like when you do it, you're told, you kind of get the impression that you can't you can't use your experiences and you got to remain confidential and the professional boundary, which we have to about COVID at the moment, not about us, but actually I feel like if it wasn't like being with a disability and challenging ableism and preventing, then I would have never been got here anyway because I was finding job as a result of not trying to get in anywhere stereotypical jobs that you get fed at uni because they didn't meet my needs. So that's kind of why I'm here, and it took me a bit of a journey to get here. And really better my mental health because I didn't get the job that I always thought I would get. Not that I particularly ever heard that anything in particular, that you just always had this vision. And I guess part of that was that I'd not got a plan. Like, because if I had to do that, my life always been planned to the max. Like 2 years in advance, I knew what I was going to do. I had to make sure that meant them met my destiny to a bit too old to mean quite living in quite regimented life because I have to recommend doing that. So then not knowing what I was going to be doing was quite a weird project for me to get my head around. But then like you said, that enabled me to explore more roles and enabled me to find this role through networking at conference. But I didn't know if I did not been to that conference and not a network, I wouldn't have been here because I didn't know where to find roles like this.
Wow. Wow. So there's a lot of that synthesis of you and your personal lived experience and you as becoming a therapist.
Yeah.
That's part of the mix. And also some of that challenging the notions of what's gone before and some of that not being appropriate and kind of carving your own path, I guess. And then serendipitously finding an opportunity through networking at conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Jacqui? Yeah, sorry.
For me, it was, I graduated last year, so it was, I mean, there's the reasons why I wanted to go into OT, and then when I started the course, it was, like, I mean, it just makes sense to me, all the theory, and because I'm a very, very theory driven person, and I really like to analyze and pick things apart and break everything down, and it just felt so right for me. I think when I came to graduation, and we'd had one of the modules at the university was widening occupational therapy, and it really started to make me think, because when you start, you think, okay, I've got to go into clinical practice. And that module really made me think that OTs had value elsewhere. OTs have value in supporting students, because the course team here, because I studied at the university, are so amazing and so supportive. And I'd graduated and I was thinking, I really don't want to go into clinicals. At this point in my life, it's not right for me. And I started thinking, and I just happened to look at the university's job website. I was actually looking for a job for my son. And I saw the job and it was like, well, there you go. I read all about it and I thought, yeah, this just feels right for me. And so I applied, and I was still a bit of imposter syndrome, all through the process, applying for it, having the interview, and not really expecting that I would get the job, but I did. When I'm with the students and I'm talking to them, and I get joy from talking about OT to them.
Can you tell me a bit more about that transition from student to registered professional for yourselves?
So that was very hard in terms of like becoming registered in the first place because you wanted to do that. So that was quite challenging. And then we got to my own practice or like, what am I here? What do I done for occupational therapy? What makes me unique to occupational therapy? Like, if I don't want to go into this, clinical role, then why am I here? What my purpose? So I did a lot of reevaluating. I met a lot of reflections during that time. And then for me, it was just the role that I do now wasn't the role that I originally had at the university.
Okay.
So I started in a different role, which was being a clinical demonstrator. Which worked for me because I got to be on placement with the students, being a kind of a clinical role. It was in a primary school, it wasn't like clinical. But I wasn't actually doing the physical element of the clinical role. It worked for me because like I could do it. And I wasn't like retraining myself with my physical limitation, and it was really good with my physical difficulties, sorry. And then obviously I got here now, and I think it really, even though at the time it was I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of I wanted to now. I'll just take whatever couldn't do. It wasn't. It actually did do it. I wasn't like applying for jobs that wasn't do well, but it do need to do the rules that came up. I wanted to be going to occupational therapy. So I got it. And but no, I kind of didn't like to think, oh my god, I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. When I didn't like this, like I'm almost getting like for the second time around. So like it really kind of it in my own mind, thinking, oh my god, like I didn't interpret it like that, and like but now I'm here. I see that this really just been such a great tool to like, actually make me think, wow, like occupational therapy is such a beautiful profession, and it made me really appreciate like the academic value of occupational therapy and occupational science within this role, and being able to do research, being able to help students. You are impacting the wider society, and just like it's mind-blowing when you get your head around that we could do it. We're all regional meeting the member. It just have massive kind of snowball effects.
And there's something about challenging that narrative as well of almost an assumption that you have to go into clinical practice, but occupational therapy is so beautiful and rich and diverse that the scope and the potential is huge.
It is, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, when you start off and you think, oh, I'm going to go into clinical, but then when you start to learn more about it, and everyone, everywhere, everything that everyone does is occupation, and we are enabling students to do the things they need and want to do.
And I would get going into it, they're gonna expect me to know everything. But actually, and then they really do turn around and say, well, I don't know that. They kind of appreciate you more for being honest than I do, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So Jacqui, can you tell me a bit more about your transition from student to professional?
Because I only graduated last year, it's been extremely fast, and started this job on the 1st of November, had my graduation ceremony on the 9th of November, just from finishing the last piece of work. And then it was, okay, I'm having a bit of a rest, and it was like, that's it, it's just gone so fast. I actually don't feel like I've taken a breath, but the team have been so supportive. I've just been so busy. I've not really, that transition was extremely quick.
Whirlwind.
Yes.
How about, you said you had a previous career? How's that transition from your previous role into occupational therapy been? Have you brought skills, experiences from that?
I think because I worked with for local councils, worked in key account managing for quite a long time in sales. So there was a lot of project work, a lot of organisational work, and I dealt with a lot of public funding and business support and roles like that. So although extremely different, there are elements of the day-to-day things, the analysis that I would have to use that is transferable. A lot of the skills from there, particularly when doing project work.
Georgia, there's lots of other roles that you've brought to the mix too.
Yeah.
I went and did a student at college, do I do this job is not only my best every job as an occupational therapist, it's my best job ever. Because due to 2020, couldn't work into that, so I never worked before coming here. But I do think I got a difference in turned off you being straight into the DTA role.
Yeah.
But I couldn't go demonstrate the role beforehand.
Yeah.
So I become scared because that one wasn't, it was very different to the credit teaching system. I didn't really even know the team that much because I wasn't working. I didn't really feel like I was working at the uni, to be honest, because I was on employment. But I guess that I felt we turned around and did it in somewhat because I had some idea of how the university works before going into the graduate teaching assistant role.
Yeah.
And I think as well, Georgia, some of your voluntary roles as well, they've contributed to your skills and experiences as well.
The main reason that I went with it, so we could get around with to do my advocacy work as well. Because they are integral. I cannot be an OT without disrupting and without using the skills. Yeah, we did a testing on airplane and then there's someone to do it with it. I do it like that with that key to pay to do that every day.
Yeah. And we came out and went, oh, that was amazing. It was so exciting.
Absolutely. So in what ways has your environment enabled or restricted your career journey so far, do you think?
For me, it's more of roles that impact me. I always felt that I had a specific role, that wife, mother, go out to work, things like this. I always felt there was like this lane, that these certain lanes and roles that I was expected to do. And I felt that, and having the medical condition that I do, I always felt that they kept me in those lanes and limited me. So I felt very restricted there. And it wasn't until such a big change in my work environment, because that comfortable workspace was no longer there anymore, that allowed me to just plod in that little lane, made me reevaluate things. My family, social environment, my husband has really supported me, and family have extremely supported me through this. I wouldn't have been able to do this without them. I think that's a positive, but also having those responsibilities. I have, like, my mother lives with me, and they provide these positives, but the responsibilities that I have also put pressures on me that with regards to study. Now that I'm working here, the work environment and the people that I work with are so supportive, and it's that being able to talk to about OT to people that understand OT and understand OT within this environment really supports me and impacts and improves my learning
and professional identity, I guess.
It does. That's it. And that's one of the things when you're not going into the traditional role, that's one of the things that you struggle with. The actual job itself, it allows me flexibility so that I can work at home when I don't need to be on campus, which really helps with my fatigue levels. So, and that allows me to work, because I think if I was working full time in practice, I'd just be too exhausted. Working here supports my wellness because and facilitates me being able to do the job the way that it's structured. Yeah.
How about yourself, Georgia? How's your environment around you enabled or restricted your career journey, do you think?
I think with me, like, again, I was redoing the fact that Jacqui was saying about the fact that we're working and things like that. But I do treat work to that is restricting because at the minute I'm not doing it the way that it's just a temporary way that I'm doing it, but it's been temporary for quite a while, and we need to kind of consolidate this plan. We're hoping to do very soon, because driving is a bit hard, and I can't drive it just fatigue, and it doesn't get my wheelchair out of the car when I get here. Then you think I need to buy something, that can happen, but that doesn't happen every night. My poor dad has been trooper, really, been taking me to and from work in like 4 hours an hour each way. Like 4 hours every day, but obviously I can, but with, I guess, because I'm in 23, I'm not very, I could be a lot more autonomous than what I am. I do feel the need to, my team alarm manager, we can eat out today. Is that okay? I still don't feel like I'm still getting into that habit. Like today I bought the bar, but then I ended up quitting because I wanted to support in lecture. And then what do I do? Because my harmony didn't know that, like, I decided to come again, and the team that is valid, take it back in the day life. And then because I'm turning to working in general, that have been very hard for me to get my head around that, and because I'm turning to the having too much autonomy and organising my own diary, not having to ask someone and not having to run it by someone, and someone very young, that's been really hard because I always want that revalidation. But then on the other hand, it's great because I can work from home on Sundays, and I love the fact that we're working. It's just getting used to that pattern. That is still taking its time, I guess. But then my brother really supported me. As I say, my dad had gone the extra mile, literally. I think it was hard at first because I've always been local. I went to uni in the same city where I live. I was only 20 minutes away. I was being a home person, and it did take some adjustments. But my dad and my mum were at the beginning. I wasn't looking for a job anywhere outside of my home city, and then found one 45 minutes there. They take a lot of adjusting, but we managed that. We got ahead about that, and I think we now know that, like, yeah, it wasn't the idea that the agent needed to do. It didn't the ideal. We still got just to figure out, but we now know that, like, it was that hard. The job, I wouldn't think about this job anywhere else. I don't know anywhere else to do this job, and I said, even if this job didn't come up at a new university, I wouldn't do it at another university because I do this team and the structure that it made me the occupational therapist I am, and all the reason they give me the family. For example, our line manager is a pediatric development, and that's my manager. So I get so much from her, not just within this role, but within pediatric occupational therapy that I can develop there and put onto the project that I do outside of this role. Yeah, it's tiring, and I do get with that. Even when I only work 3 days a week, I genuinely don't like doing more than 2 of them days because fatigue or hurt. But like the positive definitely outweigh the enablers definitely outweigh the barriers.
Restrictors. That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
And thinking about some of those challenges that you've both had along the way, what do you think would have helped to overcome them?
Because I'm a lot older, and I think ideas from when I was growing up of someone with my disability, I have epilepsy, so someone were a lot different than they are now. So, and one of the things with Georgia, that internalization of those negative things, it was myself, those thoughts, I was internalizing those the negative words people would say, their thoughts, and that restricted me.
Okay.
Though it was, so that's why I didn't, there was things that I thought, okay, that I can do that, and I can do that, and I'll do my best that I can within that sphere. If it hadn't have been that way, or if I hadn't have, I suppose, maybe if I'd had an occupational therapist to help me, then that it may have been it may have been different. But I think it's a lot different now. There is still some limitations, but it's not quite as bad. For example, you wouldn't, when I went to school and I was diagnosed, it was that thing of, well, you need to be out of the school, you can't be in a school with normal children. But and my mum had to fight for that, so you internalize that. But it's different nowadays to a lot. There's still struggle with a lot of people, but I think for me that's just been the thing that's restricted me for quite a while. And I thought, I'm valuable, I've got skills, this is what I can do. I can do this, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, and
go for it.
Go for it. They can only say no. And that was it. But it was a bit of a journey before I applied at this university, because it was right, okay. Because my education had been disrupted, I had to get the qualifications to go. Okay. So I started working towards that. So it was a few years, but I still had that in my head to do that. But it was just, well, you can only say no. And my best decisions since then have always been, whenever I've said they can only say no.
How about yourself, Georgia? What have been your challenges along the way and what's helped?
To do any reading and things like that. And I think, like Jacqui said, I've been taking on daughters and challenges, and I do this quite a lot now, and I really think, oh, it sounds like I can't be bothered. But sometimes, like, going out of that comfort zone can be very hard when you're having to do everything, because it's already actually exhausting to find the job within the comfort zone. So then to go out of that comfort zone is that an extra level of fatigue that you haven't got the rooms for. Yeah, I've been quite. Oh no, I just work here because I know that it'll be 5 minutes away from home, and it'll like I just do that just to do anything without doing trying to change myself. And to know you need to take on the challenges. Yeah, they're gonna be a lot of energy. Yeah, they're gonna take years to develop. Because this road to developing road is a 2-year contract, and we go next year we can go back to uni. We got the learning to do. And it's like, but it's like, no, because I got to do this, you're gonna invest in my future, and like Jacqui did it, thinking about, yeah, they're gonna need time when it is, well, and it doesn't work out with your life. But thinking about that bigger picture, and thinking about the end result rather than thinking about now.
I guess it's OT in yourself to an extent.
Yeah. It really because it's done with it. I do now, and it's like, oh, I think it really would have helped. I mean, being enrolled in brand new to the university, when I was studying, people wouldn't be worried about. But I think it would be helpful to be aware of where different roles are, and how to find them, because like you get told, oh, look at charities, oh, do this, you can look here, without doing when you're a 21-year-old like I was, and you never had a job, dipping your toe in there traditional job route is hard enough. Never mind dipping your toe in there, then what is in a non-traditional job route. However, I always used to get to do non-traditional life. I used to get, in a non-traditional world. I mean, I must admit, sometimes it does help, because we know that not many people know what we're doing. Sometimes it does help to create that picture. But then it always did come back to how we started this. It is a traditional world, because what we're doing is providing anybody students carry out their occupational dreams, and they know untraditional bit about it.
Yeah, you're working as occupational therapists in education.
Yeah, I know, and I've had.
I think it's all about challenging that narrative, isn't it?
It is.
And that's a bit of a theme throughout your whole conversation, challenging narratives.
Ain't challenging your own narrative. Never mind your people.
There's still moments that when I've started, I'm thinking, oh, am I a teaching assistant, a graduate teaching assistant, or am I an occupational therapist? And then that's where reflection really, really helps, because I think, okay, what have I done today? And then I can break that down, and then I realize, I am doing something that is
totally one of the
therapy.
same thing.
It is, that's it. And by not reflecting, and I think that's where it's obviously reflection is so important within the profession, and it's also important in teaching as well. But I think that's where reflection's been really helpful to bring me back.
Yeah.
what has been or is most helpful for you in your development and progression in that occupational therapy journey. So reflection's one of those things. What else is helpful in terms of your career development and progression?
With peer support, I think having the team that we work in is
the team are really divided. We've got buddies,
and I think that experience that really supports the experience and the knowledge that, you know, and when I'm supporting sessions, I'm learning something new all the time. It's always progressing. And
Georgia, what else do you think you found helpful in the mix in terms of your progression, development? What's supported you? What's helped?
definitely had good support from the team.
Team, peer support, reflection.
Yeah, they've really been great. Actually, we had to be using the career development framework.
The RCOT one?
Yeah.
Bro.
So, when I got the job, I was told to get the parents, and then I had like a review, and then I set myself goals according to the career development framework, and that really helped me understand actually I can do achieve these goals. Because I get thinking, how can I do productive? I'm not even gonna go, how can I do productive? But actually, you can do that productive. The amount we've kind of doing my annual review because I got a lot of deadline at the minute. But I'm really looking for forward to that annual review to find out what I've learned and what you've actually used without realising.
What do you wish you'd known prior to joining the profession? What would you say to anybody else in your position now?
That you can create your own path.
Go for it. It's really rewarding, and it's such an exciting and diverse career. I think once you start studying, you start to see how broad it is. It's so diverse. You're not fixed in one position, and what you think you want to do at the beginning that journey can be totally different at the end.
I think it's about not being scared as well. Like, I get it. Like, these roles don't come up, but I get it. You want to do a role like this, then you're going to be like, where do I find this? And unfortunately, I don't have that answer. I don't have that tangible, concrete answer that I wish I had. But for people that want to have this role, it does take research, it does take time, and it's hard. But it's about also being open-minded. Like, I don't see myself as academic. I never thought that I could go into academia. But actually, I'm learning so much about this for myself, and I could realize, I am quite academic. I do I do fit well with this role. It's about like not being scared and taking that much. You never know, and I'll be like that. What do you think about occupational therapy? Because it relates, it's the center of everything. So like, even though you're in a different role, you can relate back to your roots. Not being afraid to try, and it doesn't matter if it's not the one, it's not the one. It will do. Many last long. It will do be relevant, and will help you on your journey. Whether you realise that now, or realise that thing you've done a lot.
It's almost like unanticipated twists in the journey, isn't it? Like your river has kind of turned in a way that you've not really expected, but just being willing to say yes and give it a go and trust in the process.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason.
Do you feel like you've been able to be yourself in occupational therapy, to bring your best self to occupational therapy?
definitely that one thing that I do love about this role.
Mhm.
I can't be myself in all you mean that children were like will be teaching some content and they'll be like, yeah, look, we got to teach this bit. It is a bit ego-entry. You want me to get into debate, come back in team. You're like, do that. Yeah.
I feel more, because I've already mentioned about, you know, about medical condition and that,
Mhm.
and I always felt that it was something that it wasn't something that I talked about to an employer or anything like that. But the environment that I'm in now, it's like, do you know what? My experience of this,
Mhm.
my experience of this will enable you to understand people that you're working with. And the people that I'm working with understand
Mhm.
my perspective as well. So I just feel more open and more free to not be on guard, and that I can talk and you know, and because it's valuable. My experience of that is valuable.
Absolutely.
My disability will always be the biggest tool in my IT bag.
Yeah.
There is no tool bigger than my disability in that IT bag.
Mm-hmm.
Never over.
Part of who you are, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that they do me like I did that whole thing like, oh, I don't like my disability to define me, and I'm like, no, I like my disability to define me. If it wasn't for my disability, I wouldn't be in IT, I wouldn't be doing this, I wouldn't be doing this. So actually, yeah, my disability doesn't define me.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that either of you would add to anything we've said today?
There's probably 100 million gazillion things that we miss. Like it's just you opened a kind of world. I can't thank you enough for doing that, because you made me think about it more critically. And I know that my reflection from this is definitely going to take a new direction in a different turn, and the turn that needs them to make. So thank you so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Talking about things and being able to say it starts your thinking processes, and it makes you think about things that you don't realize that you were reflecting on, and the way that you're going to look at something differently. So yeah, it's been invaluable to be able to discuss this, and
I think similarly with people that are going to hear your story as well, in the things that you've said and the experiences that you've shared, you know, people will hear possibility for themselves. And I think that's, you know, that's the power of narrative, isn't it? That's the power of human story. So I've got a quick fire finish the sentence question for us to finish with. Okay. Being an occupational therapist is
me. It is me. It's what I am.
Georgia?
Beautiful. I think it's beautiful that you get to explore so many avenues and look at the world from a different perspective, and just yeah, we know it goes far back to us. It is a really beautiful profession.
Love that, both of you. Brilliant answer. Thank you for joining me today, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.